Hello and greetings. This message is specifically directed to the students who have been emailed and informed that they are part of our 2019 Spring Phi Theta Kappa Tennessee Regional Conference. This is a pre-trip travel meeting, and it's a recap for those who attended the previous one. And we just want to welcome you to this trip, Dr. Waters and I, and this is Dr. McGrory. We are so glad you are attending and interested in learning more and knowing more about Phi Theta Kappa and all that this conference offers. And we want to just take a moment to review the fun that we're going to have, because it is fun, and the responsibilities for having a nice trip. We are going to be together for a couple days, and it's not just a short class session. This is several days that we're going to spend together, and we each come from different backgrounds, and there could be different expectations. And this is how we all come together and have a good professional interaction, which is what this is. All right, so what I want to go over with you is what we need to do before we depart, the actual departure and some things about that. The conference agenda, I'm going to go over that with you, the meal planning guide, what you need to pack, and requirements when you return. It is so easy to come back from the trip, jump back into schoolwork, then it's summer, and you kind of drift away and we never hear from you again. And you would not want that to happen, because it would result in a hold on your student account. And especially if you're graduating, that could be problematic. What you have to do when you return was in your travel documents, and it's basically just to do a sharing of the information from the conference, and I want to make sure that we're all on the same page with that. So I'm going to review that with you as well. All right? Now, it's probably easy to go ahead and get the negative over with and talk about really what's essential for having a good trip, and that is to define what the trip is not. So here's what it's not. It's not a vacation. It's a professional trip. People travel for work, and it's a time where you get to network with other people, you get to learn skills, and that's what this is. So it's not, it's kind of not an opportunity. It's not just to go wild. It's just that you're not in your family mode. You're still in a professional mode, and that's really throughout the trip. It's not a chance to act without responsibility. You are representing our college. You are representing Phi Theta Kappa. There are expectations on you to work well in your teams and to get along with others, and we'll talk about that in a minute. There is a responsibility to participate, and in doing that, we can have fun, but it's not an opportunity to act without understanding those responsibilities. Okay, so we do have those. It's not a chance to act without checking in or coordinating. We don't want to go off on a walk by ourselves. We don't want to go stand outside while the conference is ongoing. We don't want to isolate ourselves or act individually without clear communication with the advisors, because we are the college authorities that are, we are there on behalf of the college, and so we are responsible, which means that you're responsible to us. You have to check in, you have to coordinate, and you have to get approval. And sometimes that doesn't sit well with us, because we want to be independent and we want a chance to be on our own. But that's not what this conference is. I have heard students say, this is mine or whatever, but it's not mine. It's ours. This is paid for by the college. It's paid for by Phi Theta Kappa, and so you really are there as part of a connection to an organization. Not a vacation, not a chance to act without responsibility, not a chance to go without checking in or coordinating specifically with the advisors, gaining that approval, not a chance to be independent or to be all by yourself and on your own. It's not a chance to explore or act independently outside of the conference. We need you to participate, right? And to always be part of the group. It's just a couple days, and it's actually typically results in a real bonding experience. Students come back, and I've often heard students say, I feel like we're all family now. And that comes from spending a lot of time together and connecting with each other. And so that's really important. All right, so what is it? It's a chance to demonstrate teamwork. How are you going to share the bathroom with your roommates? How are we going to, as a chapter, go to sessions and participate in building our Chandler cheer, which is not just one person, but it's all of us coming together? How are we going to interact with other members from across the state? This is a great time for teamwork and not a time for fighting, right? So we want to look for those pathways to collaborate. It's a chance to show your best self. This is an ideal chance to show your leadership, folks. It just really is on a regional level. But you show it to your advisors, you show it to your fellow students from the college, your roommates, your chapter members, and to those Phi Theta Kappa members and faculty and staff and supporters from across the state. Alrighty? It's a chance to meet new people, and I really hope you take advantage of that. You will come back with some friends that you'll still be emailing with and Facebooking with and connecting with Twitter and all that, and you might go to a university where these folks are also attending, and how great would that be to have this shared experience and to know them. It's a chance to know to expand your college knowledge in the sessions and the workshops, and to expand your experiences. I like to call it saying yes. There are going to be opportunities that arise as part of the conference, and it's going to be easy to just say, oh, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to let the others do that. They're not going to get me to participate. They're not going to trick me into getting involved. They're not going to coax me into, having a good time under the auspices of participation. Well, what a sad way to experience the conference as a wallflower. Here you've gotten to attend. You're not watching it on television. So say yes to those experiences, and you're going to expand your knowledge of college and university opportunities. You're going to expand your leadership opportunities, your team opportunities. So, those are great experiences to have. Learn about Phi Theta Kappa and the opportunities it affords. We hear about them in orientation, but it's a lot of information to take in. The more that you are exposed, the more you hear how other students from your college or from across the state are leveraging those opportunities, the more you will be able to see how you can benefit and what's in your future, and it is in your future. So look for those things and those opportunities, and you'll only get that if you're plugged in and participating. If you're trying to stay in the hotel room, if you're saying, well, I'm just going to sit back here and text on my phone while the speaker is talking, I'm going to do something else in my mind even if I'm forced to sit in this seat. How terrible for you that you would, sign up to do something that is just torture for you, because it's not. This is a great opportunity. So, maximize, plug in, connect, do a great job in that participation, and you are going to just come back with just wow. Okay, you're just going to say to everybody, it was great, I want to do it again. That's been the common experience that we hear from students, and I think it'll be that way for you. Why not, right? Why not? It's your chance to have fun while doing all of these above things. So let's go back to the agenda. Before the departure, I want you to know that I need to take your picture. This is a safety precaution. It gives us a very up-to-date picture that I keep. I take with my iPad with an app that we use as part of the trip, and especially God forbid, but if somebody should be experience some kind of harm, this would be important. We will exchange cell phone numbers. I will have them on a list. I will ask you to add your list. I will share those within the group. Dr. Waters and I share our cell phone numbers with you. And that is so that we can stay in communication throughout the trip. We very commonly text the group. We're meeting here, everybody gather at this location. And of course, if you are in some kind of trouble, then we want you to be able to get a hold of us or, one of your partners, but of course you need to be communicating with the advisors. That being said, this is still a professional responsibility. The cell phone numbers are not yours to use for other purposes, whether that be of another student, whether that be of the advisors. There's a responsibility and an obligation that comes with sharing those cell phone numbers. So we want to make sure that we're handling those professionally, and we have confidence in you to do that. You're a college student, and so there's an appropriate time and place to use those cell phone numbers, and there's a time when that stops. Okay, so we just need you to respect that, and we of course respect yours as well. Departure from Southwest. This was on your travel document, and we're going to talk about the travel consent form. I do want to go ahead and jump to this item, hotel update. This is the hotel that we will be staying at. It's not the hotel that was listed on one of your travel documents. We were able to get a slightly nicer room, and so we just wanted to make you aware of this so that you can communicate this to your family. Like I said, this is all about, hey, communication, coordination. None of us are alone. We have families that we connect to. We have, all kinds of people we're responsible to. So we wanted to share that information to you. Now, I am going to talk more about departure, but let's talk about the transportation consent form. What we're talking about is that this conference is fairly close to us. It's in Jackson, Tennessee, right? So, when you're close, and if you are fortunate enough to have the means to transport yourself, and we do have a couple students who are driving themselves, it opens the door to more individual responsibility, and it has to be clear to you that you are acting apart from the group and apart from the college. So that transportation consent form was really designed to explain that to you, and to, how do I say this? Because you have to communicate the plan, right? And so you all have done that, and I appreciate that. But here's really what it boils down to. There are 2 college vans going, and we have a seat for you. And so when you are in that van, when you say that you're coming with us, you are our responsibility. So for example, if you should go out without checking in, without getting approval, just all going off by yourself to be on your own with another student, that would create a liability for us and a problem, a scare, a concern for you. So we need you to stay with us. If you're riding in the van, you are in the van. You are not in a car with another student because you decided at the last minute. Here's something else you don't do. You don't swap vans without talking to people, to the drivers, to the advisors in particular. Because if I'm looking around and all of a sudden somebody who is supposed to be, in a certain seat, we tend to navigate back to the same seats, is not there, I'm going to assume you're missing. Right? So you have to talk, you have to coordinate. Just in the same way, you wouldn't want me to drive off and leave you, right? So why would you run off and leave me? So this is just about simple mutual respect. And I think you all, I've met each of you, I know each of you, and I know this is in your heart. So you have that transportation consent form, and that outlined our expectations, and just be very clear of that. For those students who are using alternate transportation, you have communicated us to your, about your plans, and we expect you to stick with those plans. So we don't want this loosey-goosey. We don't want everything to be changing every 5 minutes, and maybe you told Fred, but Fred was supposed to tell and he didn't tell, and you talked to this person, but not. Let's not get into all that. We need to know where you are. We need to know that you're in your vehicle. There are 2 students who are riding together for part of the trip, and that needs to be consistent, and we don't want to be changing that up without extensive conversations, and we really don't want to change it up. Okay, we just need some consistency here so that we can all enjoy the conference. Okay, in terms of the transportation, let me just flip around here. Whoops, that's the I got all my documents open. I see I opened all but the one. We're leaving, let me see if I can pause. Here's the document I was looking for. All right, so we are loading up at 2:45. Now remember, I need to take your picture and I need to get your cell phone number. So we have a little work to do when you arrive at 2:45. We load up on the Macon campus on the Ferris Building steps. So if you're familiar with that little turnabout that is right in front of, like where the bookstore is and where the auditorium is, that's generally where you'll see the vans and we'll load up. Please be patient with us, as sometimes it takes us just a minute or two to get the vans, to get them checked out, to get the seats configured, and to get over there. But if you will look for the others and y'all form a group on those steps, we'll be ready to go. Like I said, be ready with cell phone numbers and all that. We'll leave the college at 3:15. That's our plan. It's about an hour's drive, so that will give us plenty of time to check in at the hotel, the conference, all that, okay? So, in fact, I believe we'll double confirm this, but that we're going to the hotel, that we're traveling from the college to the hotel and then to Jackson State Community College. I don't have 1.5 time. Okay, so in the hotel, we talked about that. I do want to, while we're on this sheet, talk about one other thing, which is the hotel itself. I mentioned to you that we'll be staying at the Hampton, and I will provide that in the email. But we do assign 3 students per room, and there are 2 queen-size beds in each room. It does not mean, as we discussed at the travel meeting, that you sleep in the same bed. What we commonly do is suggest to students that they bring either air mattresses or sleeping bags. If you do not have one of those, you just, within your roommates, your room assignments, you coordinate with each other. Probably someone else in your room does have one, and if not, then you coordinate with Dr. Waters and I, and we'll make sure that you have one, okay, so that everybody has a nice place to sleep and feels comfortable about that, okay? So in terms of room assignments, those will be coming. We just finalized all the travel documents, so we have not yet made the room assignments, but we will, and we will email those to you. We do assign rooms based on gender, so girls and guys are in separate rooms, and then we do tend to distribute our officers because we like transfer of knowledge amongst the students, and then we just try to kind of arrange you so that you're meeting new people and and having a nice time. I just keep saying that, but that's the truth, right? Okay, so remember 2:45 p.m. on the steps of the Ferris Building with the goal of departing at 3:15. So please be on time so that the whole group is not waiting on you. All right? All right. So pictures will be taken. Your phone number will be needed. We'll leave from the steps of the Ferris Building. We've talked about the transportation consent form, and you have that. This is the updated hotel information, and I will include that in the email. We have talked a little bit about the code of conduct, but let's go through the travel documents and the conference agenda, because I think that is important. So here's the agenda. When we arrive on Friday, notice from 4 to 6 p.m. we'll be checking in. That's why we have time to go to the hotel first. These are things that they're going to do at the conference. They're going to assign us, typically they put like a dot on your name badge when you check in, something like that, and so they'll split us into groups. It gives you a great opportunity to meet people from across the state. They do gift bags and things like that. I don't want to spoil the surprise. And then around 5 p.m. there's a pizza dinner, so that's awesome, and they always have a wide variety of pizzas. And if you have communicated to me food allergies, I have communicated those to the Tennessee Regional. Please be on guard on that. If you are comfortable sharing your food, restrictions or allergies to, which again, both restrictions and allergies have been shared with the region, just to help each other, because I would not want you to accidentally eat something that would cause you, to have a medical emergency. So if you can have a buddy that'll, help make sure that you don't accidentally ingest something, that would be great. So here you see, and I will give you a copy of this, from 6 to 9 p.m. we will be engaged Friday night in our first general session, and you can see the agenda there, and I'll let you look at that. And the Chandler cheer will be explained. Woohoo! Oh, I'm sorry, let me back up to Dr. Waters, because there will be, as part of this session, an opportunity to talk about running for regional officer. This is your chance to get further engaged with Phi Theta Kappa on a regional level. You do not have to have experience as an officer or anything like that. So you do have to still be actively enrolled in the next academic year. And that's just so that you can fulfill the responsibilities of being a regional officer. So you'll hear more about that at the conference. That'll be awesome. You see keynote speakers and all that. And if you come down here, Chandler Cheer will be explained, and this is our chance to compete as a chapter with spirit and enthusiasm, and our goal as a chapter is to demonstrate that from start of the conference to end of the conference. We have energy, we have excitement, and we are going to have fun as a team, as a unit. And so look forward to that and just bring your energy, because we will need it. 9 to 11, look at this conference time, right? 9 to 11, they have some rooms at the college, at Jackson State Community College, and they'll allow us to break out so that we can plan our cheer, practice it, so that when it's time for the competition, we're ready to go. So be prepared to have kind of a long day, okay? Because we want to do well. We really do want to bring our A game. Then the next morning, up and for the conference, we need to be there at 9. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about transportation again. If you're staying at the hotel with us, we don't leave anyone behind. So make sure the hotel provides breakfast. Make sure that you are getting up, taking care of your breakfast needs. We are not going to stop on the way to the conference for breakfast. You need to already have eaten breakfast. Don't get there and say, I did not eat breakfast at the hotel and now I'm starving, so I need to miss the conference session so that I can take care of my eating needs. You have to follow the schedule. That's a professional responsibility, and it ensures that you maximize your participation. Remember, you did not pay for this conference. You did not pay for your hotel, and so we do expect you to follow the schedule. That means if you need to get up a couple hours early, you're going to have to figure out a shower schedule with your roommates, right? Who's going to be in the bathroom at what time? How are we going to handle all this so that, we're not leaving at 9 o'clock. We probably need to gather and leave about 8:30. So how will you take care of yourself in collaboration with your roommates to be ready to leave at 8:30? Leave that hotel at 8:30. When I say leave, are you driving your own vehicle? If so, you don't get to stay behind at the hotel. We have to wait. We need to go as a unit, right? If you're supposed to be in the van, you need to be in the van, okay? You need to, and with the driver, or at least with communication with that driver. We are functioning as a large group. We are, Dr. Waters and I are the responsible employees of the college. We're the college authorities. And so if somebody stays behind, one of us has to stay with you. Since we need 2 drivers for the van, that means that you will cause half of the group to be delayed. So don't do that, okay? Let's be respectful of each other. Be ready to go 8:30. All right. Look at this. So breakfast was provided by the hotel. Here's lunch. Notice your previous dinner was provided, right? So you can read, they have a transfer fair here. So be prepared. Wear your Phi Theta Kappa pins and shirts, and be prepared to talk to those recruiters. Maybe you want to bring a copy of your web transcript so that you can talk in depth with them about scholarship opportunities, what their college has to offer. Maybe you can set up an appointment for a later time to come back and visit their college or university that's there. All right, notice that we have general sessions, and you can kind of see what those are. Okay. And then towards the bottom, we're going to have our elections, and this is for regional, not chapter, but regional officer, and that's at 3:30. The way this works is only one person from our chapter votes, but they need to communicate and coordinate. So we'll decide that when we get to the conference who our delegate is going to be, and that person will be responsible for getting the input of everyone, not just one person, but of everyone. Okay. So from 6 p.m., notice it says until there's an awards banquet. And this is where, if you have published an article that was recognized in Tennessee Mosaic, for example, they would announce it. We have a chapter photo taken where we all get together and they make a nice group shot. So be prepared for that. You may want to dress a little bit nice. Okay, no, you don't have to have a suit or anything like that. Kind of business casual. Some people would describe it as church clothes. You want to be comfortable, okay? Be comfortable. But maybe a pair of slacks instead of jeans that night. Okay, so think about that and how you want to do that. Excuse me. They will, when they talk about induction, this is the induction of the regional officers. So there's chapter awards, there's door prizes, look at all this cool stuff. And so that's Saturday. If we go on to Sunday, now we will be planning to leave on Sunday, except if one of you is elected as regional officer, and this certainly happened last year. Ronald Morgan became a regional officer, so we would wait for him to attend the regional officer meeting as part of that. And sometimes the advisors, the regional advisors, of which Dr. Waters is a regional advisor, are asked to participate in this meeting, and it's normally not too long. But we would wait for them. We would be at the hotel. There will be, of course, a hotel checkout time, and we'll observe that. But, of course, you want to have breakfast and all that stuff so that you're ready to get on the road. It's only an hour's drive, so we'd hate to get on the road and then everybody say, I want to stop for breakfast. Have all that taken care of. I know you have a lot to do, and in that way we can get back to the campus. Okay? All right, let me keep following my agenda. Okay, let me continue on. We'll go through these forms here. Okay, meal planning guide. Now you have a copy of this as well. We're not leaving until, what did we say, 2:40, see, I've already forgotten, 2:45 you're loading up. So this is after lunch. So your first meal of concern is dinner, and we looked that was a pizza dinner right by the Tennessee Regional. We said the hotel will have breakfast, and so you need to take care of that there. The conference is providing lunch. Sometimes they provide snacks, but if you want anything, if you need a candy bar or something like that, just throw one in your purse, your book bag, your, whatever you're carrying around with you, crackers, something like that, okay? Or they typically have vending machines because it is a college campus, so maybe you pack some change, so that you can do that. Remember the regional dinner, and so that is also paid for. That's the awards banquet that you'll dress, just a little more nicely for. Sunday morning, of course, Continental Hotel breakfast, and then we're back on the road. So we probably are not, this is an hour drive, so I think this is text talking about lunchtime as if it was a much longer trip. So no need to worry about that. Okay, so we're still working through our list here. Let me keep on going. Here is the student transportation consent form. Remember, we're providing the college vans. You'll load up with us. There are seats for everyone. In fact, we have just enough seats, so that's perfect. If students who transport to the convention in a college authorized vehicle must return in that vehicle. All right. Students, including those using their own vehicle, complete this form, which we do have that from everyone. Let's see. Students may travel to and from Jackson in their own vehicles, but advisors have to be informed. And so we've talked about how important that is. Students using personal transportation are held to the same level of required participation. You do not stay behind in the hotel. You do not lollygag at the conference when we're all returning to the conference. We work as a group. Okay. Students driving their own vehicle will not transport other students unless there's been prior approval. We have only one situation for that. But by and large, when you're at the conference, if you're asking, can I run and get in the car with so-and-so? The answer is no. You need to be in the van with us. You need to be participating as part of that group. Okay. So just wanted to review that. And again, no mileage or anything, no reimbursement, nothing like that. All right. Let's review this form for just a moment. I'm not going to go through the entire thing, but I do want to talk about some of the requirements for participation. So let me kind of run through that. You did the essays. Y'all did a great job with that. Thank you. Get membership numbers. We did have to look up at one person's. I don't know why. We don't have any minors on this particular trip. Okay. When we talk about participation, just to recap, we do look for you to fully complete the documents. We do look for you to fully participate, is what I was going to say. We want you to just say yes. When we talk about the Southwest Code of Conduct, that's part of the trip. You are still a student of the college. You are participating in the college. This is not a vacation. So I wanted to recap that because I want you to understand that we do hold you to that level. Now, this is not punitive. This is really just for the purpose of clarity, all right? Okay, requirements of participation. Folks, there's just not an easy way to say this. Dr. Waters and I are the authorized employees of the college. We are in charge. And when we ask you to do something, you need to do it, and you need to do it without delay. This is just part of working as a group. If I really, we haven't had this happen, and let's just hope this, this is not going to happen this time. If there is bickering and infighting, if you're not able to follow the instructions of Dr. Waters or myself, then you just simply are going to have to return to the college. We cannot have that disruption to the conference, the disrespect to the Southwest reputation, to your fellow students and members, as well as to those across the state. So just be aware of that you would bear the cost of returning. So make sure you're aware and in compliance of all these things. All right. Requirements following the trip and consequences for non-compliance. So let me make sure as I get ready to talk about this. We've talked about the student code of conduct. You are representing the college, and so Dr. Waters and I are the responsible people. Note-taking responsibilities, and there are really 3 categories this time, and this is new for that. While you're there, you're in class, so you got to take a little notes. Now, it's not torturous, you're not having to learn the Latin names for, things. This is going to be fun, but you'll forget. You'll get back and class will start, and you'll forget what you're supposed to do. So we need you to take notes, and we're asking you for something new this year. I'm going to talk about the note-taking in a moment, but you need to be networking with other people from around the state, because there are 13 community colleges in the state. Oops. These are, how do I get over here? I hate when you click something. There we go. Here's the 13 community colleges. And we expect all of these community colleges to be represented. Okay, we're one of the 13 at the conference. So instead of 13, you know us, so you only have 12 other community colleges. And we want you to find out, what are they doing for College Project? What did they do last year? Because, those were just due under this same topic. What did they do for their College Project? What did they do for Honors in Action? How did they come up with it? What was their method? How did they do their research? Who did their research? How many people were involved? Did they do note sharing? How did they do that? Did they put it on Google Docs? Did they put it in OneDrive? Did they all get together and meet periodically? How did they do that? How did the idea for their college project come about? Was it based on an initiative at their college? Was it something that one of their administrators, their president or vice president, really wanted them to do? How did it come up? And we need you to each divide and conquer. So if one person will say, take Chattanooga State, and somebody else says, I'm going to talk to Cleveland, and somebody else says, I'm going to talk to Columbia, and definitely, somebody else is going to talk to Dyersburg, and you may each want to take 2. Maybe you can do this in partners and go around and talk to the different colleges to find out what they are doing. That would be fantastic. I've gone over the meal planning guide. We still have just a little bit more to do, so please bear with me, because we are going through the travel tips here and the note taking. All right. When you come back, a student attending this trip is required to create a presentation to members to deliver at a planned chapter meeting. The very next chapter meeting that we have, let's just go ahead, is the one that you will be presenting at. I think I even have that on, maybe I have that on this document. Yeah. Thursday, March 21st, 7 p.m., Ferris Auditorium is when you are going to share what you learned at the conference, right? So maybe you learned about what Dyersburg did for their college project. Maybe you learned something about scholarship and transfer. Maybe you learned more about College Fish itself, or PTK Connect, PTK Transfer Edge, something like that. So maybe there's something that you just were wowed by, and you want to make sure that that knowledge comes back. You're going to share that in a 5-minute presentation when you get back to the college, and you're going to share that at this Thursday meeting. So maybe you're saying right now, but I already know I cannot attend that meeting. Well, if you already know that, then you know that you're going to fall into the category of creating a video. These are very easy to do. Okay, all you have to do, let me go back to that form. All you have to do is, oops, I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong form. Here I am. All you have to do is point your cell phone video camera at you. You can record a video and you can upload it to YouTube, and you share with Dr. Waters and I the link. And then we can share that information with our chapter members at either the chapter meeting that night, but we do give you 30 days from the time of the conference, which is a very long time given that this only takes you 5 minutes. Let's say it takes you 1 hour. You don't need 30 days to do this. You need to do this and get it done. So, because what if you don't do it? Failure to meet these requirements will result in a hold on the student's account until this requirement is satisfied, or alternatively a charge to the student's account in the amount of the event registration fee. If we put that hold on your account over something as simple as a 5-minute video, it's just going to cause you a lot of aggravation. You don't want that. First things first, come to the meeting. That's what you need to do. Come to this Thursday, March 21st meeting. If you can't, talk to us. We'll help you get this video done. Okay? We'll help you with that. So just make sure that you are in compliance with that particular requirement. Okay, where else are we? What to pack? Let's go over what to pack. What do I pack? Your Southwest student ID. Got to have that. Must have that. We talked about the awards dinner. You may want some business casual clothing for that. Your cell phone charger, your battery. How many times I see students walking around trying to hand me their cell phone. Well, why is it my responsibility or someone else's responsibility to bring a battery? Try to take care of those needs. Anticipate that your cell phone battery is going to need recharged. How will you handle that? Don't anticipate that there is going to be electrical outlets everywhere you go. That's not necessarily the case. And then, of course, you got to worry about forgetting your phone. So think about what you need to make sure that your cell phone and any batteries that you bring to charge stay charged. At night, make sure you charge everything up, right? Okay, if you need snacks or drinks or granola bars or cereal or whatever, make sure you pack that. The rooms do have the 2 queen-size beds, but there are 3 to a room. So make sure that you have prepared for that. In regards to money, make sure that you have money to buy the things that you want to buy. I did go over with you that meals are included in the conference. If you are looking for snacks, if you want to buy any of the merchandise that the Tennessee Regional Conference will have, things like t-shirts and magnets and things like that, then that's what you need to bring some money for that. Students commonly ask how much. How much do you want to spend? Do you have $5? Do you have $1? Do you have $50? I mean, that's your personal choice, is to decide what you want and can spend, if any. You are not required to spend anything. The room assignment process. It'll be announced soon. We've just finalized the list and we'll let you know. But again, the assignments are made by gender first, okay, and then we distribute our officers across the rooms, okay, and then we kind of just mix you up to make sure that you're meeting new people, all right? So the key here, folks, is to get along with each other for just these couple nights and days, and to stay engaged in the conference. All right. So you know what to do when you get back. I think we've successfully covered each item in our agenda, and I think we're going to have a great trip. And I know that some of this presentation was a little heavy. Bear with me, folks. We always have a good time, but it's just all part of making sure we have a common set of expectations. I appreciate you, and I'm thankful for your time and energy on this trip. All right? We'll see you soon.